Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to be checking out the MOULD King Super S Quadcopter. Now, this is a review model from lighttake.com. I'll have the links in the description of where you can purchase this if you're interested. But anyway, let's get to the review. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to kind of give you an out-of-the-box initial assessment, and then we're going to take it, do some flight video at the park, some indoor-outdoor flights, and come back, give you a pros and cons of what I thought, kind of wrap it up with some final thoughts. Okay, so initially out of the box, this is the MOULD King Super S here, and it's a nice, it's kind of like a, not really a micro, it's not a mini, it's a little bit smaller than a mini. It's like in between a mini and a micro. A little smaller than say SEMA X5C, but also larger than a Hubsan X4. So I'm not sure what class that is, but it's right in between a mini and a micro. Anyway, out of the box, it's kind of cool. It's got these kind of long DJI Phantom looking style landing gear here, which kind of gives it a kind of a neat look. The construction, this is the black version. I think there's a white version as well. The construction's kind of cool. I like the molding. It comes with a camera that takes in a micro SD card in the back here, and it's also controllable. The camera controls are controllable from the controller itself. You can take video and take photos if you like. Now in the box as well, you get micro SD card, you get your charger, you get a couple of foam inserts which look like they're for some dampening. Possibly you can put them underneath the camera for some vibration dampening. Screwdriver to replace props. You get your prop guards, 4 prop guards, micro SD USB card reader. You just pop it in there to view the files on your computer. You get a 380 mAh 3.7 volt LiPo battery pack, and unfortunately I don't see any extra props in the box. So right off the bat, that's kind of a con, that they didn't include any extra propellers just in case these started getting chewed up or bent. And of course you also get the instruction manual, which is basically just one piece of paper folded up, Chinese on one side and English on the other side, going through all the controls, flight modes, and all that stuff. So anyway, that's what comes in the box. Oh, also the controller here. 2 top on each side trigger buttons. You've got your throttle, yaw, roll, and tilt. Your power button here, it's kind of a cool click-in power button. And of course you've got your trim buttons for your tilt and roll. No trims for the throttle or yaw on the controller itself. So just your basic controller, and it takes 4 AA batteries. Alright, so let's get some video of this thing flying outside in the house and at the park, and we'll come back for our pros and cons. Wow, fast. reset the gyro. Both sticks to the bottom left and right. Okay, that's the low battery light. Okay, so it gives us plenty of time to land after the low battery light goes on. Okay, range test. It's like about right there. Maybe 200 feet. Try headless. Yeah, working good. Turn off headless. Try return to home. Here it comes. Looks like that's the battery. Fast flashing LEDs. Still got about a minute before it drops. Cool. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're able to get some flight video at the park and in the house, and also see some video from the actual camera on the bottom in flight. And we're going to go through some pros and cons now of what I thought of how this thing did. So first off, just off of initial control after using it for a few minutes, the sticks are real slippery. They use this kind of hard plastic on the top, and immediately my hands started to get a little oily and wet, and they were slipping all over the place. So I think that's something they could improve, maybe put some rubber material or at least some kind of perforation on the sticks for better grip. So that's kind of a con there on the controller right off the bat. Another con would be the hover. It was difficult to really hover steady because it seemed like the digital linear hover of the stick wasn't very precise, and so I kept kind of going up and down because I couldn't find that middle hover point. So that's something they could work on. It's probably just something within the flight controller, or possibly the board in the controller itself. But you know, that's kind of minor. I mean, for one of these small cheap quadcopters, that's kind of a minor con to have, but just because it's there, I'll mention it. On the SD card slot on the camera here, and also on the card reader, it was really hard to insert the SD card, the memory card, mainly because I needed some kind of tool. It just pushed in way too far and I couldn't. So you're not going to be able to really use your thumb, or maybe if you have long fingernails, but my fingernails are pretty short, so I wasn't able to push that in and out. I had to use a pen or a screwdriver or something, so just keep that in mind as well. And one of the major cons on this model, at least, that I got here as a review model was the video. As you saw in the video, the camera is crooked. It's tilted like at 45 degrees in its factory camera case for some reason. I didn't take it apart to try to fix it since I'm kind of reviewing it out of the box, but I made sure it was level on the quad, and that's kind of a con there. Is you know, it might just be this model, but just to keep you guys aware that this one did have that 45-degree angle problem. I'm sure if you sent your video to Litake, if you bought it from them, they would probably give you send you like an extra camera, another camera, because of that defect. As long as you sent them the video, it should be able to take care of you. One more con, and then we'll get to the pros, is the orientation of this thing. It's really hard to tell since there's orange all the way around and black. There's no real indication except for the lights on the bottom, the red and blue lights of where it's at. So, and you only can really see them from underneath since they're all the way at the bottom. So if you're flying fast right in front of you and far away, you won't really be able to tell which way it's turned unless you start moving your control sticks to figure it out. So I would have liked to see some different kind of color props, or different banding, maybe different color banding on there, just to make it easier to see the orientation. Alright, so now let's get to the pros. First pro is it's really fast. This has 3 modes of flight, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and they all are perfect. They got those perfect spot on. problems with other companies like MJX is that third flight mode. It's just flipping everywhere, and that's kind of weird. But this one, they keep that flip button on the top right of the controller, and you can just basically press that. You hear some beeping, and then you just move your roll and tilt, and you'll flip in any direction. It'll do one flip, and then you can press the button again if you want to do more flips. So I really like that. I think the manufacturers hit a home run with that one, and they should stick with that on these small quadcopters, these toy quads. They shouldn't do any kind of weird mode 3 that's just flipping, or mode 3 that flips at 90% tilt and roll, because beginners that are buying these quads, they're just going to get frustrated with that kind of the flipping stuff. So keep it to a button. The yaw rate is perfect as well for the 3 modes you're flying in. As you saw in the video, the yaw is nice and slow for beginner mode, medium for intermediate mode, and then when you get to expert mode, it's super fast. So I really like that they kind of changed the speed for each mode. Some manufacturers have only either 1 yaw rate, which is slow, or maybe 2, and then the third high-speed Pro mode doesn't even change the yaw rate. So I really like they got that perfect as well. The Pro is, the design is nice, and also the headless and return to home modes work. They worked for me perfectly. There was one time when I was spinning a lot, and then I tried to do headless mode after I was doing expert mode yaw for a long time, and I think it got a little confused, and coming back in headless was a little skewed. But for the most part, it came back in my direction on return to home, and I like the fact that you can immediately cancel return to home just by pushing the tilt and yaw stick, because return to home will come back towards you, but it'll just keep going in that direction. So to stop it, you just have to push your tilt and yaw stick, or your tilt and pitch and roll stick to cancel out of that. Range at the park was good. It was maybe 100 to 150 feet, maybe 200 depending on the angle from me. Stock battery times, basically without the camera and with the landing gear on, I got 6 minutes until it hit the low level light blinking, and then another minute. That's another pro about this thing, is it gives you a minute to land after those lights blink. So with the landing gear, only 6 minutes, and then 7 minutes until it dropped down to the ground. And then with the cam, you basically lose a minute. So with the camera on or off, I didn't see any difference with it being on or off. It was 5 minutes until the low battery lights blink, and then you had another minute to land before it actually would drop to the ground. So final thoughts, pretty good. They've just got to kind of take care of a couple of those things with the maybe give a couple more props in the package, and they really have a home run. The yaw rates and the pitch and roll rates correspond to the flight modes 1, 2, and 3 very well. They hit that out of the park great. Just a few problems, and I think if they kind of got those things in, they would have really a winner quad here. I really like the look of it, really fun to fly. Anyway, again, this was a review model from lighttake.com. I'll have their link in the description if you're interested in this guy. And please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.